quick story time. Back when I was in Berkeley, there was this time where we had a resident artist come in, so super dope artist, somebody we all know, love, and cherish, and we were super excited for them to come. And in that, one of the things that they had for us was like this clinic where students could play their original pieces for them. So there was this bass player. He arranged this song and this music, super dope. But towards the end, they got to this tricky section where things just weren't really gelling, and so they managed to get through the tune. They get to the end, and the person is waiting on some critiques from the artist, and the artist is like really kind of lackadaisical about it. They're not really giving much, and then they open it up to the students. And during that weird section, you could look around and kind of see, like, as musicians, when we feel something that's like, you kind of see it on our face or our body reaction. So you could tell that's what was happening, and nobody was going to speak about it. So I worked up the courage to say something about it. And I was like, hey, based on what I was hearing, it seems like you were trying to go for this. And if you were, maybe this is what could have been done. And so the artist's rebuttal was, it's jazz and you don't know what they were trying to go for. And basically, in front of everybody, kind of just told me to be quiet, in a sense, without telling me to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they say something in such an arrogant and like type of way to where they be like, your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion is invalidated because I'm who I am and whatever. And so nobody spoke after that. And I felt so crazy afterwards because I was like, man, I thought I was trying to help, but maybe I should have just shut up. Maybe he is right. It's just jazz and it's just that, whatever. So I walked away from that experience feeling so defeated because the way I internalize things and the way I do things, I would prefer that somebody say something, whether it hurt my feelings or whatever. But if it's for my betterment, I would love to hear it. I don't want you to leave me out here looking crazy, or if you have a solution, to not offer it, right? And sometimes I feel like that part of me gets misunderstood or something like that, or like people take it the wrong way. And this is one of those times where I was like, man, I really messed up. So fast forward, we get to the end of the clinic, and I'm talking to everybody afterwards, and like everybody can tell like I feel a certain way, and they can tell it was a weird situation. And I go up to talk to the dude, the bass player that wrote the song, and I'm like, hey man, I really wasn't trying to rag on you or anything like that. I really thought your music was dope. And one of the things that I really found out that night, that sometimes, everybody talks about this, some of your don't meet your heroes type vibe, but remember that your heroes can be human and they can have some ways, but also don't be afraid to stand up in the midst of your heroes. That's what I would say. Because the thing that was came out of the bass player's mouth was, he was like, hey man, I actually really appreciated your feedback. And to this day, whenever we would see each other in class or see each other passing, we would greet each other. It was always good vibes. And, there was a respect between each other because he was honestly appreciative of the fact that like I cared enough to even try to say something to try to better the situation. And it really changed my mindset and actually freed me from the guilt of speaking up, because the person that the information actually mattered to was appreciative instead of the person that was just there to be there. So I encourage you, even when it's times where you feel like, man, this might not be received well, or sometimes where you're in the midst of giants, you're going to have to stand up, and don't be afraid to stand up, especially if they're offering an opportunity for you to speak out. I see if it's a situation where they didn't ask for your opinion or whatever. But if they do, I would suggest you do so. You never know how it'll work out. I may have been blackballed by this person, who knows? But at the end of the day, I personally feel good about the fact that I tried to help a fellow musician or a fellow person, period. So take that, do what you will with it. And yeah, have a good one.